What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and today I wanted to talk about what actually got me started to put in the work consistently online, and creating content for YouTube and creating content for other platforms, and just putting more emphasis on what I was doing online to create a completely location independent source of income so that I can live my life however I want to live my life, wherever I want to live my life. And I want to talk about that. So, before I get into that story, though, make sure you press that subscribe button and that little bell notification so that YouTube can notify you every time I post a video. Now, with that being said, and to give a little bit of context, I started doing stuff on YouTube in April of 2013. My brother was telling me about how he was watching stuff on there. I never watched any YouTube back then. And how he was watching some stuff on there, and he found out that you can actually make some money doing that. And he thought it would be fun if we did something. So we started doing some stuff, and I was like, oh wow, this is very cool. But I was never fully, into creating that as a way of, it didn't like click up here. I could see it, but I wasn't mentally committed to doing that 100%. I saw that, and like I monetized the channel. I made over $500, but it didn't click. I wasn't 100% committed. You know, when you're doing something, but you're going through more of the motion, and you're not 100% committed to it, so it's more sporadic. That's what it was for about 5 years, where it would be a month or two, and I would see results, and I would get excited, but then I would end up stopping, and I wouldn't continue with the process of documenting and creating content around what I was doing online. And back in the end of October, 2018, that was about 5 years, roughly from April of 2013 till the end of October 2018. And I was thinking about how I wanted to live my life. How do I want to, like, where do I want to live? What do I want to do? What's like the most fulfilling thing that I could do, right? And I was probably pretty high. It was probably while I was in bed. And because generally that's the only time I will smoke, or when I'm at the gym. And I came to the realization that, well, I think I would probably move back to Hawaii, because I've lived there twice. By the way, check out the channel if you want to see any videos on that. If you go back a little bit, you'll see some videos on Hawaii. But I've lived in Hawaii twice, and each time for about a year and a half. And then while I was there and I was still going through the thought process of like what that would mean, or if that was like the best, most optimal choice for me, I'm like, well, I don't know, because I really enjoy traveling. So maybe what I'll do is move back to Hawaii for like 6 months and then take 6 months traveling. And then I was like, do I really want to spend 6 months in Hawaii? I've already been there. And then I went further down that rabbit hole. And I was like, where do I want to live? I didn't want to do Hawaii. So then I thought about, well, what about just perpetually traveling? At least for the moment, right? Like maybe down the road I decide that I want a more semi-permanent or permanent base, but I enjoy traveling. So why not do that? And maybe 3 months of traveling, I'm like, fuck this shit, I don't want to do this anymore. But that's where my mind was at. And once I realized that, oh, I want to travel, what don't I like about traveling? So then I was like, well, I don't like traveling every couple days, because that's a fucking pain in the butt. So I was like, I'll travel for weeks or months at a time. And that, creating that vision in my mind, was what was enough to be like, well, that's what I'm going to do. So what do I need to do to get there. And I was like, well, I need a source of income that allows me to do that, and that's not working at the current company I'm at, in the capacity that I'm working at least. And I needed to do something, right? So that was right at the very end of October. So I was like, I know I've made a tiny bit of money over the last 5 years online. Maybe I will just go all in online and continue that growing. And then I modeled it out, like how much I need to, first of all, so the process went through like this. It was like, so that's what I want to do, right? So the vision is created in my mind. And from that point, what I did was I created a budget, right? How much would I need? So then, this is the night I stayed up till like 3 a.m. And I get my phone out and I'm like looking at Airbnb. Okay, so if I want to go to, say, Cinque Terre, or I want to go to Paris, but I also want to go to Spain, and then I also want to go to the Ukraine and some other European countries, and then Australia. So I started looking up how much it was for Airbnbs just around the world and within the United States, because maybe initially I'll do United States for 6 months, and then do countries abroad. And after a little bit of digging around on it, on Airbnb, I realized that in pretty much every single city that I looked at around the entire world, it was maybe a handful of like 15 to 20 cities, I can find an apartment or a room for rent for an entire month for around $400 to $750 a month. Like, my apartment's around $1,000 a month with utilities. $1,000 a month. So if I wanted to, say, live in Barcelona for a few months of the year, I can go there in the Goth district. I think it's called the Goth Historic, whatever it is. It's the very nice area of Barcelona. I can find an apartment there for $500 a month. Or maybe I want a nicer one, and I'll do one for $750 a month. And that's 25% less than what I do here. So that's another $250 that I could put towards whatever I wanted to put towards, like whether maybe I don't know the area, so I spend more on food and like transportation, right? Because I don't have a car in Barcelona, so I would end up taking maybe a taxi more or Uber more often, so I could put that $250 towards that. Because in the Airbnb, everything would be included: internet and electric and water and heating and all that shit would be included. So I wouldn't need to pay for any of that stuff. And because it's an Airbnb, I'd have a fridge and a kitchen so that I could cook my food, and all I'd need is a gym membership, right? And so I go through that process of all the pieces of a budget of how I wanted to live my lifestyle, right? Like, I want to be able to have a kitchen, so because I want to be able to cook my food, or add in several $100s more a month so that I can pay somebody to meal prep in the way that I want, right? But is that enough of a reason for me to do it, like wait another year so that I can create more income and or savings during the process to get there, so that I can just pay somebody or go to places and just purchase go to restaurants and just have them make me a shitload of meals for the day? Or would I rather just do it for myself and do it 12 months earlier? And I decided that I would just rather do it for myself. And when I go through that entire process of all the pieces, I can do that for less than $2,000 a month. So less than $2,000 a month, that's pretty fucking small. Like, I don't have an extravagant, with $2,000 a month, I can travel around the world and do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I think with the $2,000, I also factored in $100 a month or $200 a month towards savings. Yeah. Like, it doesn't cost that much to do a lot of the things you want to do in life if you know what you want. So $2,000 a month, right? Then what I did is I went to YouTube and tried to find some what I thought based on my previous experience of making the $500 on YouTube, how many minutes of content would I have to have watched to create about $2,000 worth of income online from YouTube. So I came to about 1 million minutes per month. And that would be about 250,000 on a weekly basis. And I figured that will generate me probably around $2,000 a month from YouTube AdSense or YouTube ads. So once I had that, right? Because now I have the vision, I know exactly how much it's going to cost to create this vision, right? And then the path to get there, right? Because they're all going to be related. So the $2,000 that I came to, that I need, and then I put that out, right? So I was like, let's think. March 2020. The end of March 2020. And the reason, it seems arbitrary, and it is pretty arbitrary, but I get my bonus in the month of February. So I was like, just play it safe, we'll do the end of March 2020. That was at the beginning of November 2018 to March 2020, you know what I mean? About a year and 6 months. And what that comes out to be, to get to 250,000 minutes at the end of that period, of the end of March 2020, from where I was starting at the beginning of November, I would need about 7.85% growth rate on a weekly basis on the minutes watched on YouTube. And then I just started putting out content. And I'm going to continue that process. I don't know if I'll get there by then. I don't know maybe it's a year and a half later. But that's where I'm going to be going. And this is the process of me creating that. So however long it does take me, that's how long it takes me. But now when I actually touch on some of the actual results, right? I'm hitting the numbers for the minutes watched. So then right, because I need about 7.85% growth rate on a weekly basis on the minutes watched on YouTube to be able to generate about approximately $2,000 a month from YouTube to be able to live off of anywhere in the world, right? So I tracked the results, and as of the end of, I don't think I put the results in here for last week yet, or where are they? The second. No, I've got to update this. But as of basically last week, I'm hitting the numbers for the end of July 2019. So I'm several months ahead of track. Growth has slowed down tremendously, but that's where I'm going, and I want to at least put that out there to just expose more of why I'm creating all this content, why I'm putting out so much, and it tends to be about like the fitness stuff because that's super interesting to me and I enjoy that. Plus, there's intertwined the mindset and the financial stability and like the foundation with that along there, because that's what's going on in my life right now as I create that along the way. Also, on a complete side note, make sure you subscribe, but that's not what I was going to say. I just got you on that one. And the bell notification. But through this process, right, $2,000 a month, I've got a rental property that I have a partner with in Florida, and I make somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 to say $500 a month from that property cash flow, after accounting for management, maintenance, and taxes. That's how much I make. So on the low end, say it's $300 a month that I make from that property, that means it's only $1,700 I need. So however I play this out, maybe that instead of being the end of March 2020, maybe that brings it back to, January 31st of 2020. I'm also in the process, if you're following along, of hopefully purchasing another property here in Massachusetts. It's a foreclosure property, so hopefully I'll be able to get it with a bunch of equity in it. And that has the potential once I run the numbers. Also, if you want to check out me running the numbers and my complete analysis of the cash flow for that property, there will be, it's in the channel. So if you click on the channel and just search for cash flow analysis or something like that, I run through all of it in the spreadsheet that I created and everything like that. But I should be able to more than likely make $350 a month from that one, conservatively. And that would put me at, what was that, 300 in Florida plus the 300 up here, puts me at 1,400, 1,350. So 1,350. So at 1,350, maybe that puts me at, I don't know, maybe the end of October of 2019. And that's why I'm just documenting of what I'm doing. And also the Amazon Associates, right? So maybe making, right now, I think in the month of January, I made like $13 or $14, right? So that will more than likely continue to grow, even if it's $5 additional every month or something. And that'll add to that. And anything else that I do will add to that. Also, throughout that process, if I decide that I want to leave even sooner, I could just work a part-time job in anywhere I choose to go. A couple days a week, right? It doesn't matter where. I could work a part-time job anywhere, really, in a restaurant or something like that. Bookkeeper and as an accountant for 2 days, like helping a small business out. I don't care what it is, and just make a couple $100 extra a month to put me over that edge so that I can focus more full time on doing this. Anyways, I'm super curious to know what your thoughts are on what I went through, and if you have gone through the time and effort to think about what it is that you truly want in life, and also being aware enough to let yourself not be attached to it in the sense that you're going to judge yourself if you change your mind. Meaning, if you decide you want to live, say, like this, right? Like if I decide I want to live this lifestyle, tomorrow, in light of new information or just changing my mind, I can just be like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay at my job because I love it. And yeah, period. Like, don't judge yourself, even if you tell people. And so maybe initially even keeping it more, depending on how you are mentally, right? And if you care about how other people are going to think about you or that kind of thing, right? So depending on where you mentally, maybe keeping that to yourself or something potentially. If you give a fuck what they think. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, right? I don't care. It's my life to live. So depending on where you are, I'm just curious to know the process that you went through or you might go through, or hopefully if this is helpful, let me know. Also, I'll have a link for my Instagram in the description if you want to jump over there and say, what's up? Just like that. I will get back to you. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.